Hello and welcome everyone to the Mindful Running podcast. All of us suffer with pain of some degree or the other at some stage of our lives, whether we are active or inactive. And most of us succumb to it thinking it's a part of our lives. Today we are going to talk about how to live a pain free life with the Egoscue Method. I wanted to bring this forward to you so that all of you are aware that something like this exists and one can indeed live a pain free life. Our guest today is Brian Bradley. Brian is on a mission to help millions of people learn how to live healthier, pain free lives and achieve the truth in their personal fitness. A frequent speaker at industry events, he presents, consults, and conducts training with corporations, organizations, and nonprofits on the topics of chronic pain, healthy living, and high level performance. He has spoken to clients in over 180 countries and last year alone reached over 4 million people over digital platforms, strategizing and helping guide them in their needs. His clients include the Tony Robbins Companies, Bulletproof Radio, YPO, the Seattle Study Club, MLB, the PGA, and the NFL. As one of the pioneers in corrective exercise, Brian has been studying true biomechanics and human anatomy using the Egoscue method for more than 30 years. As the posture pain performance coach and strategic body motivational speaker, Brian is promoting a myriad of healthy principles for achieving success in all areas of personal and professional life. He believes that the real and lasting changes can happen when we commit to health as a lifestyle. His postural training, fitness experience, and engaging personality get people of all ages moving and digging deep to get their best results and live pain free. I'm excited to have Brian here speak with us. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Brian.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for being here.
It's always odd when somebody's reading a bio that somebody writes about you and you're like, his motivating personality and his I'm like, if you guys don't talk to my family because they may tell you my personality is a little different. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, Brian, the audience is quite excited to hear you because I think, the topic itself and what you do is of immense importance to each one of us. And I don't think I can even count any one person out that someone has really lived pain-free, uh, you know. So this is something that I'm really looking forward to, and so is the audience. And yeah, so we'll just get started right away.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is, people want to know, like, how did you even get into this? Like, what is the Egoscue method and what has your journey been in association with them? How did you get into this?
Okay. So they have to remember how old I am. Like, look at this white beard. Like, you're talking the Gandalf the White here. This is back in the 80s when I ran into Pete Egoscue in the late 1980s in Florida. And I had just graduated university thinking that I knew literally everything. Like I'm just so good at what I do. Oh, I know. When honestly, I didn't have a clue about true biomechanics and true functional anatomy. And sorry about my allergies here. We're getting crushed in Southern California, so I might have to do that every once in a while.
That's okay. Yeah.
And it is 8 o'clock in the morning here on a Sunday. So, it's way early. But when you start thinking about running into different points of your life, what defined you, I luckily, or the universe luckily provided me an avenue to really learn what the body could do, what its resiliency is all about, what its ability to heal, its ability to take a walker, a runner, a biker, a swimmer, a climber, a pregnant mother, and give them the perfect opportunity to function at the next level, their next level, not just you need to get here and talk about it. It's not about talking about it. It's actually living it. And what you're going to learn today is a belief system that is backed up by 50 years of, and I've seen 30 of it, 50 years of just give the body a chance and it'll do what it's asked to do. And until we can get to that point of belief, not hope, like, you could come to me and say, Brian, I hope you can help me with my knee. Well, that doesn't do you any good because you're putting all the onus on me. We talk about it, and what I learned way back then is that it's not a responsibility of the customer, client, patient. It's a responsibility of the therapist to help mold the mindset of the patient, the client, the athlete, to believe that injury to their knee is just a warning signal. And that's what literally defined everything from where I was. Like what I learned was a true different belief system than what was given to us in college, which was if the ankle or knee or hip hurts, you should look at the ankle or the knee or the hip, because that's where the dysfunction is. It's just so off the mark. And once I have images behind me, we'll talk about this later. Once we can switch that over to these are signals, here's the problem, now it's a completely different ballgame from there.
Yeah. And, like you said, this is like a 50-year-old thing, and you've been, into it for the last 30 years or so. And even going back so many years, I mean, the thought process was still not traditional.
No,
Like
in
what
fact,
you said, yeah.
We were
Like what you studied in college, like if
Oh, yeah.
if it is an ankle problem, it is the ankle problem, and people were not looking at it holistically. And knowing that this method is about 50 years old, to think like that, alternatively, was a big deal.
Well, the big deal is Pete Egoscue started with this in 1971 when he was discharged. Actually, not discharged, when he finally understood why the injuries that he procured in the Vietnam War were now wreaking havoc all over his body. Here's the injury site: left hip, left knee, left hamstring, grenade, bullet, ammunition, whatever. But the body made adaptations around that. We all know that when you sprain your ankle, you make a limping adaptation. So just this, oh, my right hip, oh, my right ankle, oh, my right ankle. Meanwhile, your spine's doing this for 6 weeks. It's not doing this. It's doing this. That alone can create a lumbar, mid-back, upper back adaptation. And over time, chronic adaptation turns into compensation. And that's where the big issue comes from. So, yeah, Pete Egoscue paved a way for this line of thinking. One of the great physical therapists that I've ever met was Gray Cook. And he said, without Pete Egoscue coming in with no medical blinders on,
yeah,
he single-handedly changed the way we think about the human body. And whether you believe it or not, that's not my concern. My concern is to give your body the best chance to be at 110% at whatever age you are. And that's what we do.
right. So what exactly is the Egoscue method, then?
Okay, very simply, it's this. That's how the human body should look from the side and front view and rear view and the other side view. What I'm going to do is I'll show you some pictures later from my phone, some before and afters, of course, just for you to go, okay, but because I know there's listeners out there going, yeah, but what about me? I had this happen. This side view where the ankle, the knee, the hip, the shoulder, and the ear are vertically on that black line. And this front view where your joints are sitting across and below each other like this. When you see this, your metabolic system is affected in a very positive way. What I mean by that is any deviation from that could effectively change the way your body is metabolically functional or dysfunctional. Meaning, we all know that a metabolic system is tied to like stoking a fire in a furnace to keep the house warm. Well, when your body's out of position, then you've compromised this efficient blueprint And now you're moving to get from point A to point B, walking, running, swimming, biking, whatever it is, but you're doing it in a manner that is now calling upon other parts of the system to make up for the one area that's not mobile, stable enough. So I'm going to pull up a picture on my phone here of an ankle position. And I do apologize about the allergies. I'm sorry. They hit hard yesterday. Hopefully I can find this picture, because this ankle I pulled off television years ago, because they were actually talking about living your next purpose. Like, take your body to the next level, take your mindset there. And you guys, especially Mindful Running podcast, right? When you see this picture and you see the position of this ankle, you'll see that the ankle is so far out of position that there's no chance of the foot hitting the ground correctly. Now, wouldn't you know it, I can't find this picture, of course, so I've already hyped you up, so I'm going to pull up another one. Here's an example of two different people, two different athletes on two pieces of equipment. What's the problem with either one of those? What's the issue with either one of those? So one is the Nordic track. It's the old school, kind of the beginning of the elliptical idea. But if you notice that the athlete in the maroon shirt is on the elliptical and those legs never go behind him. So the legs never separate front to back. They're not doing this. Really what you're doing is this, and it stops right here. The leg never travels behind you. Can you imagine being a runner and not being able to let your leg go behind you? Like, get a good visual of that right now. It doesn't make sense. Makes zero sense. Zero.
Yeah.
Here's another picture. This one's amazing. This is a top-level football player being drafted. Here's the Egoscue method in a nutshell. What is right or wrong, or don't even go right or wrong? What is different about that person's gait? Can you see the foot strike on one side is completely different than the other? Can you see how one foot is turned way out like this and the other one's not? Can you see how you can see the hand in one picture, but you don't see it in the other? Can you see how the back leg is pulling behind on one, but the knee is bent so you can't see the foot, versus the other one, the foot is hanging down when the leg's behind him? So, having said that, the correct mechanism into helping a person discover and find out how to fix that is based on changing the reason why they have these types of dysfunctions, not let's treat that leg not going behind you, but because all we'll have to do is start pulling your leg behind you. And doing that, you've never corrected the reason why the leg is not behind you. We got to go to the why and stop looking at the what. That's essentially what we have to do. Now you'll have to excuse me because I have to blow my nose.
Sure.
Okay. I'm back. I will guarantee you that has never happened on a podcast, but it's happening today.
This
There's
is a
always
special one.
That'll be the first of many. So let's go.
Yeah. So I think, what the Egoscue method also stands for, and, one of the famous lines is that you got to treat the cause and not the symptoms.
Yeah. Symptoms are just
and that
signals.
is, yes. And usually what happens is that we kind of become more reactive in nature. And when an issue happens or an injury happens or a pain happens, we are mostly trying to solve to fix the symptom so that the symptom goes away and not really the cause. That's usually how it happens.
Well, just imagine being out on a half marathon run, 5K, and you're going for a PR, and you come up to an intersection at a street. Are you going to look both ways, left, right, left? If you live in the US, if you live in maybe Singapore or Japan, I can't remember where you have to go right, left, right. But either way, you're going to go left, right, left. That left, right, left is the Egoscue method. You're prepping for the cross, or there's a consequence. You would never cross the street without looking.
Yeah.
Never. It's not worth you giving up your running to do this. Very simply, do your exercises to set your body up for a more functional run. And I'll take you guys through something so you could actually walk around your house and feel what your foot strike is doing in a little bit.
Yeah. And I think just going back to the previous video that you showed, Brian, I mean, that is a machine, that's there in probably every gym. And people, just climb onto that and do their workout. So is that a wrong thing to do? I mean, one was the position of the person that you showed, but
Well, it's
yeah.
not really that it's wrong. I don't look at things as wrong. I look at things as, is it the most efficient thing you could be doing with your time? And what's the one thing you'll never get back? Your time.
Yeah.
So for example, I have the Carol bike over here. It's a biohacking bike, that I have over there. Well, the Carol bike is as much as a Peloton, basically. But it's an 8-minute and 40-second ride. That's it. Versus, let me get on my bike, and I've been in my office all day, hunkered over my table like this. Now let's get onto a bike like this and wonder why my hips and my butt are still getting bigger. The same thing on that elliptical. When you see the person's leg never move back like this, and you never get a ball of the foot strike running or a heel strike running, whatever form people choose to do, you're never getting the shock for the body to have to realize, and you're never letting the leg travel behind you. I actually call that machine the make your butt larger machine. Because if you see it in the gym, it's always the same people on it, and they never really look like they're having fun, and they never really look. And listen, I'm not busting on the machine. The machine's a great idea.
Yeah.
And there are versions where the leg comes behind a little bit. I would find those. But last time I checked, there are stairs around. The earth is rotating, so it's basically a treadmill. Get outside and go for a walk. And especially get outside, go for a walk, interlace your hands all the way together, put it at the back of the head, drop the shoulders, pull the elbows back, and do 2 minutes of walking like that. The entire gait will change.
For the good.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to give advice that's going to make it for the worse. Yeah.
Yeah. And so one is, people who are active, and people who are active, I mean, most of us, they say that sitting is the new smoking, but we have to sit like you and I are sitting right now, or we have work to do and we work like, virtually on our computers like for half the day.
Yeah.
So how can, you sit efficiently? Because that is something we all got to do. We all have to sleep. We all have to sit. There are times when you're not moving. You can't be moving 24/7. So how can you make sitting more efficient for yourself?
Sitting is efficient. Now let that one sit for a while. Sitting is efficient movement, meaning the human body was given the ability to sit for hours if you want, with no issues. It's not the new smoking, not the new cancer.
Yeah.
If and when we actually just change our mindset about it. We say, instead of it being the new sitting, it's the new smoking, it's the new cancer. How about we train it like a sport we would train for? Because if I'm going to sit for 8 hours, I might as well condition my body to be able to sit. So for example, yesterday I went to my son's soccer game, which was up in the LA area. So that's a 2-hour drive each way. I'm driving. I have to sit.
Right.
So what I did is instead of thinking, oh no, I'm in trouble, it's when I get out of the car, if I want to, maybe I have to reset my body. When I'm at the field and it's halftime, maybe I'll go do this, or I'll do this, or I'll do this. So I trained for the sport of sitting, looking forward to sitting, because it's not going anywhere. In fact, it's going to get worse, because we're all looking down at these all day.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't pay attention to our neighbors anymore. We don't go outside and climb trees anymore. We don't live. Where do you live?
Delhi.
Where? Oh, in Delhi?
India. Delhi, yeah.
People around the world, people in Delhi don't even live like the people in Delhi did 40 years ago, where they moved more. And the United States is 100 times worse, because we say, my son's a soccer player. Let's let him only play soccer. Whereas there's another sport that he could be playing over here. There's a place where he could go to the park and climb trees. And I'll show you a video of my son running a 200-meter run against other kids at 14 years old, when it's his first time doing a sprint on a track. And it was almost unfair, because I gave him such an unfair advantage by bringing the outdoors indoors. And I also took him outdoors as much as possible, running, jumping, climbing, hopping, crawling for hours a day. Not, let me get 15 minutes like walking a dog. No, that's not what we're doing. You're developing a human being. And when you develop that cross-patterning left to right walking, you're also developing brain tissue and how your body's going to fire your diaphragm for breathing. And, you know, I'm looking over here at James Nestor, the breath book, and then the Patrick McKeown, the Oxygen Advantage book. Both are great books. Both are completely useless if the person reading them is deviated from this. So I'm going to put those books here, 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 here. Put whatever information or whatever activity out here. But right in the center is Egoscue. And listen, I could be doing anything for my life. Anything. I'd be great at it. I promise you. Because it's a decision that I made. But when I found this method, and I was given the opportunity to have interviews like this and talk like this, I don't look at this as, oh gosh, I have allergies that hit yesterday and it's Sunday morning, I should be resting. No, not at all. When I have the opportunity to speak to your audience, to give them an unfair advantage by doing what I asked them to do, all they gotta do is prove me right or wrong. Just do the exercises for 2 weeks. I promise you it's going to make a difference in some way. But they've got to experience it on their own. So let's make James's book and Patrick's book more efficient by getting the diaphragm to actually be able to move, which is dependent on the rib cage, the movement of the rib cage, the spinal alignment. And when your spinal alignment is out, well, let's go to this picture real quick. When you look at this picture right here, this is the natural S curve of the spinal column. Now, this is original art, so I know it's chuckling. This isn't exactly right. I drew this the other day for another talk that I did with Tony Robbins. But when you look at this, when the spinal curve is in this position, then the person's smiling, their body's in the right efficient alignment, just like that. When they're in this position, you can see the face, they're frowning, there's some tears up there, things like that. Chronic pain, hey, my Achilles tendon's a problem, things like that. That's the kind of stuff that we're combating against. So I'm going to ask a question. How do you get here and stay away from here? How do you get to here and not have to live a life that's compromised, in pain, moving, jumping, climbing, hopping, crawling, with or without pain, but just working inefficiently? How do you keep yourself as functional as possible? The analogy could be as easy as brushing your teeth. You brush and floss your teeth because you want to keep them. I want you to think of that same statement as it relates to the joints of your body and the muscular system and the soft tissue of the musculoskeletal system. Think about it from the standpoint of any deviation from this design is there for a reason. Don't judge it. Just ask why it's there. So, for example, what I mean by that is you look at this young lady at 78 years young, and this is in my Tokyo clinic. This is a before and after in 90 minutes. But only look at the top. Let's look at the top picture. Actually, I'm going to zoom out. There we go. Let's look at that top picture. Let's say that lady walked in and said, I want to learn how to run and I need you guys to teach me. That's compromised. But here she is when she gave her body a little bit of stimulus, and that's 90 minutes difference. 90 minutes. Now, if that can happen for a 78-year young gardener athlete from Japan, you're probably going to be okay when you start applying the same stimulus to you. Start with a picture. Here's what I look like. 6 weeks later, take another picture. 2 weeks later, take another picture. More importantly, when you're out on a run, am I breathing better? Am I able to run further now when I really didn't train any harder, but I prepped smarter? So if I ask you a question, because you're a runner, correct?
Yeah.
Do you have athletes stretch before their run? What does that mean to you? Like, did I put words in your mouth? Tell me what that means.
So basically, your joints should move enough so that you're warmed up for the run, starting ankle up.
Time out. Time out. I said, do you have them stretch? And you're sure as heck not stretching a joint.
No. Stretch is after.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So what do you do before the run?
Before the run is basically loosening up your joints.
How do you do that?
Ankle rolls, knee rolls, hip movement,
Getting the
shoulders.
hip to swing back and forth, doing some clam opening, stuff like that, correct?
Yeah.
Way better line of thinking than the old school, which is put my leg up on a fence and reach forward and touch my toes.
No. Yeah.
Because get it out of your head that a muscle stretches, because that's just not happening. What you are doing when you do that type of stuff is you're stretching, quote, a tight muscle, but never asking why the muscle's tight. Why is your left hamstring and calf so much tighter than your right? Oh, it just means I must be. No, there's an answer in there somewhere when you really dive deep. So I'd rather have you dive deep and say it's those muscles are tight, or I'm limited in this hip based on maybe what your pictures show. Like that picture of that world-class sprinter with his leg out like this.
Yeah.
And the other foot like this. That's enough for me to say, if your tire on your car was like that, you would never drive the car. But yeah, we go out and we walk and run every day like that.
Right.
And if we were doing chi running, for example, and I'm going to just simplify this, but you're hitting the midsole of your foot, ball of your foot versus everybody heel striking. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What if I told you that that was a complete waste of your time and garbage when you're doing it on one side different than the other?
Right.
You're actually strengthening a cocoon of dysfunction. No, I'm not busting on chi running because I do like it. I'm a huge fan of barefoot mentality. I'm a huge fan of zero shoes. Massive fan. Stephen does great work. His wife does great work, all that stuff. But when you change the body and put it into that shoe, now you're really taking the body to the next level. Amazing. I'm a fan of wearing different shoes or sitting in different chairs to give your body different stimuli throughout the day. So you're a young woman, correct? Have you ever worn heels?
Rarely.
Okay. Let's say you were going to a funeral. Would you wear heels?
No.
No? Okay. Let's just say I'm talking to another female who would say, I'm going to wear heels to work. When I'm in Japan visiting our clinics over there, I hear this. And I'm like, what is that? And I look back in the train station, and here comes this person in high heels like this, sprinting for the train.
Wow.
And they're doing a version of the chi running because they can't hit the heel. They're on the toe of the foot like this, but they're so functional because they walk, they bike, they ride the train, which makes your body adjust on a daily basis. And what do we do here in the United States? We sit in a chair and we think, why is my back hurt? Like there's a huge difference in the lifestyles. So let me give you an example. This is something I built a while ago. And when I say I built it, I actually just put it together. When you look at this kind of stuff, think of the body as a connected unit. Think of it as what I do down here could easily affect what's happening up here. And just look at these rubber bands and the tension in certain areas. And when I bring these two right here, let's say this is shoulder and hip level. This is your level hip. This is your level shoulder. The minute I bring one shoulder down, it's depressed, or the other side up, like a dentist, they're working over their patients all day long. Watch what happens over here to the rest of the system. And then that even changes tension down below. Like look at these strings down here. Watch what happens to them. They actually start moving and pulling different parts in. They start moving the system around. So these little soft tissues have to react to where the bones are. And it's the soft tissues that are responsible for moving the bones back to where they should be. So this connected unit is real big in the Thomas Myers world, which is, you know, the fascia world. But pancaking, here's a roller. Let's say this is, my roller's not down here, right, from Hyper Ice. But let's say this is a roller. And I'm going to, you know, I'm rolling tissue, basically. I'm laying on it and I'm rolling tissue. I'm doing my IT band up and down. Instead of putting the roller there and pancaking your, I'm saying pancake because smashing down your IT band, why don't we start looking at what muscles come into the IT band to form the IT band and where it attaches to the lower leg? So starting to think about this, going, wait a minute. My IT band tightness might have a reason tied to it. And one of the reasons tied to it could be exactly that picture that I showed you. Think of IT band when you're looking at somebody who runs like this. Do you think there's different tension on the outside of the leg on one side versus the other? Of course. And no wonder that person's career in whatever they're doing isn't lasting as long as it could or should be. So sitting is not the new cancer. It's just sitting. Moving to a standing desk is not the answer. Sleeping on a different bed is not the answer when you're taking a body that's so dysfunctional and putting it in bed or running or sleeping or sitting or whatever. Let's change the structure that we take to it. So I travel around the world doing talks like this. 120 beds per year. I don't have a choice which bed I'm sleeping in when I come to India. I don't have a bed. I don't request a certain bed when I sleep in a Marriott. Not happening. When I go to Japan, the bed is like this big, right? I'm in there I'm like, oh, okay, I'm the big fat American showing up. Okay, great, here we go. And I'm sitting in that, but it's built for a different population. But I have to accommodate it. So train for the sport of sleeping. Just like train for the sport of running. Train for the sport of barefoot training. So starting to think about it from the standpoint of your foot and ankle can tell you a lot. So I'm going to pull up my Instagram to show you something here if I can find this. When you think about it from the standpoint of barefoot training, what do you think about? Well, I've got to get into some minimal shoes. I've got to do as much barefoot walking as possible on a surface that's flat like my desk. There's no variability in the surface. So what I do is I find things like this. Okay. I find things like this. And I force myself to walk slowly, barefoot or in a pair of socks or anything like that. These just happen to have some rubber bottoms on them. And I do 15 minutes of slow walking to allow the body to have to adjust to the uneven surface. Do you realize what that would do up the chain to even the shoulders? That's what I want
Wow.
people to start thinking about. The change that we make down here affects what's happening up here. What we do up here affects down here. And in the center of that, are you ready?
Yeah.
In the center of that is the circuit breaker for all of this to be turned on. So if I turn on my light, okay, there's a light. If I turn that on, here's basically the on switch, which this book is a very good book for people who are in the rehab world to read about the importance of this long psoas muscle here, this long psoas muscle. It's the only muscle in the body that goes from an attachment at the spine through the pelvis to an attachment below the pelvis onto the leg. Everything else works in systems. Like your low back muscles don't connect to your leg. It's the low back, paraspinals erector spinae, the sacrotuberous ligament, and then the hamstrings are considered a chain that work together on the back side of the body. But on the front side of the body, nobody ever looks at the psoas all that deeply, other than saying your psoas is tight because we sit so much. Great. Tell me something I don't know. How about your psoas is tight on one side versus the other? And that very well could be. And the psoas and the diaphragm work synergistically. If you're breathing incorrectly, we go back to Patrick and James' book, breathe, 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 but you're doing it on a posture that's so compromised, or you have scoliosis, and then you're taking that to the run, not happening.
Yeah. So that picture that you have behind you, the right posture that we can see is at the center of everything that we do, whether it comes to good digestion, sleeping better, or just about anything. One is the direct pain that we feel, but over and above that, like you said, the breathing, the sleeping, and everything else that we do, that is at the center, or what we should aim to
I
be
would
at.
even go one step deeper and say, when you wake up in the morning and you're in a bad, bad, bad mood and everything sets you off, right? Try the exercises that I'm going to run you through here in a little bit to get your body back to here.
Yeah.
And I dare you to be in the same bad mood when you're done. It's
That would be
impossible.
wonderful.
I will tell you it's
Yeah.
impossible. If you're in a fight with your husband, oh my gosh, we all get to that point. You're like, oh my gosh, meanwhile, what it is it's all about us. Like, you're not seeing it the way I see it. Yeah, no kidding, because they're a different person. I got to go for a run just to clear my head. Great. Have fun breaking your body down, because you're going out to do a run in a crappy mood, in a crappy position, and you're going to get a crappy result.
Yeah.
Change the body back to this, and everything else follows from there.
Yeah. So we have people commenting, Brian, can't wait to see those exercises. So maybe we can take that next. Some other points. What could be the reason for a tight IT band and how can it be fixed?
Okay. Let me pull up this picture. Let's go with the IT band question real quick.
Yeah.
IT band. Just look at this picture. And I want you to just see. Oh God, that's a great one. Look at that. That's a great picture right there. That white line down the side of the leg is the IT band, basically. But look at the muscles that come and attach into it. So when you're looking at this glute muscle back here, and then you have your tensor fascia muscle up here, you just think of those two as antagonists to each other. And then they come together into the IT band, and that long tendinous tissue, which by the way is so, the tensile strength of the IT band is amazing, that you could cut it out, put it behind my truck, and tow a boat to the lake. That's how strong the IT band is. And we're going to roll it and think we're going to loosen it, rather than saying maybe the glute and the TFL muscle have something to do with the tensile condition that the IT band is in. So in our opinion at Egoscue, to fix a tight IT band is not to roll it or stretch it. You can still do that. That's fine. I use words because that's what everybody else's words, like stretch the IT band is not reality, but that's what people will talk about. How do I stretch my IT band? A better question is, why is it tight? Could it be that it's tug of war chronically going on? So I want you to take your arm and do this, like flex. Everybody out there, just flex your muscles as hard as you can. Come on, flex them. Hold that. Now let go of one of them, let it relax, but keep the other one as tight as possible. And if I said hold that for a week, you would go, wait a minute, that's going to imbalance me. But that's what people are doing.
Yeah.
That's why when they look at the back of their shoes, hey, my one shoe's wearing way different than my other shoe, so I better go get new shoes? No, you're better off running barefoot on some uneven surfaces slowly, and just allow the intrinsics of your foot to move. But you better balance out the tissue or the bony alignment above and below that point. So the IT band is not something to be stretched. The person who's asking that question, in a couple minutes here when we get up and do this exercise, I want them to feel what's different about their balance, what's different about hanging, and what's different about the chair they're sitting in when we're done. So let me just ask you a question. What's our time frame? How much time do we have? Do we have a 60-minute cutoff, or can we go longer?
60 minutes, but yeah, we can go about 10 to 15 minutes longer.
Of
Sure.
course,
if you have the time, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, you're the boss. I mean, you just make the rules. That's it.
Mhm.
So if we have to go over, we'll go over, because I want to make sure that people are clear that when I put them in a position, how to do it is important. Why they're doing it is even more important. Because when a person understands why they're doing it, I'll get them to do the exercises for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
If I'm just giving them the what, here's what you do for your back, there's no personal tie to that.
Yeah.
Other than my back hurts. We got to find the customer's why. Like with this running stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
If I wasn't talking about running, I'd be a moron. Because you guys love to run. We just give you the ability to run differently.
Yeah. Some more points, Brian, some more questions. Rather, I'll just put them up here. Due to my Achilles tendon problem, on uneven surfaces aggravating my ankle pain. Any advice on that, please? Should I continue with uneven surface or give it a break?
I would give it a break. But let me define what give it a break means. Give it a break in most people's eyes means take some time off. Everybody raise your hands out there who likes to take time off from exercise.
No.
Correct. If you're a biker, a runner, or a swimmer, and I say, don't do that for a month, you're going crazy. Like, no, don't take it away from me.
Yeah.
So don't take a break on that. Give your body a break from this and get back to this.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me have everybody just stand up right now. Do you mind? No, if they're driving, I don't want them standing up. But
No, I don't think. Yeah, I think we can do that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get everybody to stand up. I'll give it a second. I want your shoes off. And in that position, just find a comfortable stance. And I want you to stand there with your eyes closed and feel where your body weight is from left to right and from front to back. What do you feel? Is it even? Especially the IT band person. Is it even from left to right? You might be surprised that you're actually loading the side of the IT band symptoms even heavier. Wait. If my IT band hurts on this side, or my knee hurts on my right side, or my ankle hurts on my right side, why am I standing heavier on that side? Maybe the other side is the actual issue or the problem or the cause. So bring me back. Come back to me. I want to ask you a question. When you stood up, where was your balance?
On both my feet.
Evenly left to right.
Evenly.
Okay. Very rare. Very
I think
rare.
I consciously do that. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. I kind of
I don't want
consciously
people
keep
to,
it even.
I don't want people to consciously do it. I want it to happen subconsciously.
Naturally.
So that's like going for a run and thinking about how you're running and going, I got to put the same weight on this side, the same, when I'd rather just have you running. Can you imagine that for 26.2 miles, thinking about, I've got to stay balanced because Brian said this.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the deep, dark, dirty little secret about a marathon. At the 18-mile point is called the wall. They hit the wall. And then you see people going like this when they're running. One arm's doing this and the other arm's doing this as they come across the finish line, if they can get to the finish line. You've seen all that stuff. I'm going to put a booth at the 18-mile point that says, stop here if you'd like to run faster for the next 8 miles. And I run you through 3 exercises like I'm going to run you through here.
Yeah.
And now you'll finish out those 8 miles. And meanwhile, you're freaked out. You're going, oh no, I just lost 3 minutes. But if you give me 3 minutes, I'll give you 30 to 45 minutes back.
I think people will stop. Yeah.
What's that?
I'm saying I think people will stop at that booth.
Listen, I know they would, to get what we call the unfair advantage. Because 18 miles into a run, no matter what I give you on the beginning, sometimes the body just breaks down by that point. But if I could give you a refuel at that point, it's like pulling your race car, the Porsche or the Ferrari pulls into the pit, new tires, boom, here's the gas, get going. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And it's not about stretching.
Yeah.
So let's do this again. I already got you guys up once already. You're sitting back in your chairs right now. I want you to just feel what you're doing in your chair right now. Just feel, don't change where you're sitting. What does the chair feel like? Is your lower back even? Do you feel a little bit heavier on one side than the other? For example, I was in the car for 6 hours yesterday. My right hamstring is actually digging into the bottom of my chair a little bit differently than my left. Not a big deal. Yeah, but I'm feeling pretty comfortable in this chair. I could probably be better. We're going to find out, because we're going to run through some exercises that do that. Okay, so now let's have you stand up. Now, in this standing position, what you're going to do is I'm going to put you in this position. Let me just pull it up from this book. Give me a second. Okay. So this is Pete Egoscue's new book that came out in November of this past year. It's the version 2, pain-free version 2. And here's an exercise on page 254 called elbow curls. See that picture? All you're basically doing is opening and closing the elbows together. But I want you to notice the most important part of this. Look at his foot position from left to right, how they're about 5 degrees turned in. So I want you to stand up. I want you to turn your feet straight, fist width apart. no wider than that, and then very slightly just turn it in 5 degrees and leave the feet there. Now, because you made that little bit of a change, you've now rotated the leg the entire way up, and now you've affected this point over here, this little lesser trochanter attachment of this long muscle. Put your hands in this position, put your hands in that position. Not a fist, open it up and put it against your temples like that. And now close your elbows together. Hold, 3, 4, open, 2, 3, 4, close them, 2, 3, 4, open them, 2, 3, 4. You got 3 more of these left. Hold, open. Remember, you're standing for this. Feet are straight. Close the elbows together. 1 more after this. Close the elbow together. Open it back up. Now give me 15 at this pace right here. Thumbs down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. In that position, I want you to just think about relaxing the shoulders now. What does that feel like? Don't change your foot position yet. Just what does it feel like to your upper back right now compared to 2 minutes ago when we started this? I want to find something in this book for you to do. Okay. Standing. There we go. Page 80. In this same book, I want you to look at the foot position, and let's put your body in this position. So your hands are like this, palms down. So what you're going to do is this. Hands are here, same position. Drop the shoulders. Check your foot position. Make sure it's that 5 degrees slightly turned in. Shoulders down. Hands are here. Shoulder blades down and back. So you want to slide your shoulders back and hold that. Bring your arms out to your side like this and circle forward 40 times. Go. Now, what I don't want to see are your arms coming forward like this. You should not really see them out of your peripheral vision. Stay looking straight ahead. Your feet are straight and you're doing this circle. I want you to get 40 of those. So I'm going to guesstimate the time. If I had music, I'd start playing music right now. If you guys want me to sing, I can do that. I'm willing to do it, but I don't hear any requests for it yet. So that's good. Keep that held, shoulder blades circling. And now go palms up. So your arm is out like this with the palms up. Circle up and back at this pace. Ready? And the circles are maybe like that big in diameter, circumference, diameter, whatever size you want to go with. You're just going like this. Greg Heinemann wants me to sing. Well, do you want like Olivia Newton-John? Do you want the Beatles? Do you want Barry Manilow? I mean, you know me, dude. 54. We're going way back. There's no Justin Timberlake in this guy. You guys would love to talk to Greg. Greg's actually our clinic owner in our New York offices. A lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now in that position, just relax for a second. Your arms are down. And now walk your feet out to wherever you want them. And now close your eyes. And I want you to ask yourself the same question. Where's your body weight from left to right naturally? Where is it from front to back naturally? What has changed compared to before? And I'd like a response from the IT band question. What does your IT band feel like right now compared to 15 minutes ago when you asked the question? Does it feel the same? Does it feel tighter? Does it feel better? Does it feel looser? Does it feel, you know what, I'm not as aware of it, or I'm more aware of it? It could be either one. I always give the people the choice. It could be worse. All right, come back to me. Let's talk about it. So everybody now just go ahead and take your seat. Have a seat in your chair. And then ask yourself this question. How much different does your chair feel right now? Do you feel more balanced in it? Do you feel like your body's actually part of your chair now? Instead of, it was a little bit discombobulated, it was uncomfortable.
It's more balanced.
And so instead of buying a $3,000 chair, how about you give yourself a $3,000 butt? Right? You want to think about it from the standpoint of, let's get our bodies into the right position before we put our zero shoes on, or we sit in a chair that's built by the lowest bidder, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let's change the body going to it. I literally have clients, and so does Greg, who say, I had to sell my Mercedes-Benz. God forbid. That's a first world problem, right? I had to sell my Mercedes-Benz because the seat was uncomfortable. You took a $20,000 loss on a car because you bought it new, sold it 6 months later. That's a $20,000 loss usually. Because your body didn't fit in the chair? Nah, come on. I rent cars all over the world. I put this butt wherever it has to go, but I train for that stuff. So think about it from the standpoint of, why do I do bulletproof coffee in the morning? Why do I have the Carol bike? Why do I have this cold plunge called the I have to think of the name, but I'm going to let you know here in a second. That I literally am cold plunging because of the deep water immersion, what it does for your body. Now, who's going to lay in 40-degree water?
Yeah.
Who wants to do that?
Wim Hof.
Correct. And Wim is one of the world experts, in my opinion, at getting people to resonate at another level. And it's just not, just physical. You know, his is the physiological response, but it's the psychological, emotional reaction to that kind of stuff. That's why it wouldn't hurt you guys to meditate every once in a while. Now, what does meditation mean? Like, oh, I got to burn incense. I got to have special stuff. And I got to have crystals. No, you don't. You could literally be sitting outside your office in your car, close your eyes and just be present with what's around you. Do a little bit deeper breathing. Most hospitals now, especially with cancer patients, are heading down that direction. Tony Robbins just wrote a book called Life Force. Highly recommended. We have 3 pages around 100 and maybe 254 or 154, whatever the pages were, or something like that. But it's because Tony lives the Egoscue Method. And I only tell you that because there's nobody hitting more people on the planet than this guy right now with information that is needed during a COVID-19 3-year process that we're in. So it's a, hold on. What question do you have for me?
I think, Brian, the next one I wanted to ask you was on common mistakes that you see, like when people just move around when they walk, or, when they sit. What are some of the common mistakes that you see? Because I think most of us would be doing that.
The common mistake is you're not asking the right questions because you were brought up to not ask the right questions. I'm sorry, but you get one shot at this body. So become a little bit more irritating as it relates to questions. I'm going to ask it again because I didn't really understand that answer. You're not hurting my feelings. And if the expert you're talking to doesn't want to give you the answer, probably not the expert. Which is why you'll find that Greg and I both, and I know Greg's on here, so I'm just mentioning that. I answer all my DMs, as you know, on my That's where we started
Instagram.
talking on my Instagram
Yeah.
and Facebook, because why wouldn't I want to answer your questions?
Yeah.
Now, don't come on there and say, Brian, I need a whole set of exercises for this. Listen, I have a business to run. I get it. But you could at least go out and say, I'll start with the book. And if you're a runner, you might say, well, I'm a runner. What's it do for running? Well, the number one thing in running, you might want to check into, where's your foot landing? Are you more pronated, supinated? Where are you in there? So you're going to have at least some ideas from that book to say, that's a good start. Otherwise, I can see you over digital photographs or over Zoom and things like that, just depending on how deeply you want to work with us.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of stuff. That's a company out of Arizona that think about syncing your body into that in the morning. Good morning. When
That
you
was
get down into
that was
30
ice, right?
It makes its own ice. So it's a 30 to 40 degree tub where you get in there and you're just, and you're basically running through that Wim Hof line of thinking and breathing. But why not shock your nervous system first thing in the morning? The mitochondria, how your body reacts. These glasses are something else I'll do. It's like a 40% blue blocking, blocks the light. Well, in the afternoon, I'll switch over to these. Not because I just look like Tony Stark. I'm not Iron Man. I mean,
They look cool.
or am I? Right? But I look at this and go, why not block a little bit more of this blue and white light that I'm looking at? And then at night, it's funny, I go to these past 8 o'clock. And that's completely blocking the blue and white light that's coming through. I'll watch a movie with these on because it takes me to a place where I don't feel like I'm looking at blue and white light at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and then I'm trying to go to sleep. It doesn't make sense. Imagine putting that in your face all the time.
Yeah.
That way at 8 o'clock at night. If we were in front of a campfire, it would be a nice orange glow. And by 9 o'clock, we'd be going to bed.
Yeah.
Give your body little bits and pieces of hacking and help it. But I'm telling you, number one is that. And I've given you enough ideas that even if you just did this and you just did this, or you just got the pain-free book, you're going to be better just from doing those. But I understand a lot of people, when they get a taste of better, they want more of better. What's next? Where do I go from here? So I'll hear a lot from you guys. You'll ask me some really good questions on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll try to answer them the way that I can. And then we'll connect and we'll go to work from there.
Right. And so one is the website, Brian, like for people to first, kind of go through that. And the book, of course.
Yep. The website is Egoscue. That's how you spell it. EGOSCUE. Egoscue.com is where you first go. The Instagram is at Egoscue Method, at the Brian Bradley. And it's only the because Brian Bradley was taken and I'm not that narcissistic. Here's the spelling of the method up here. There's the logo. Look for that kind of stuff. Greg just put it in the chat with egoscue.com. We have locations all over the US and places like that, but around the world, because of, the way we can be seen via Zoom, it's the easiest thing to see people all over the world that way. Thank you, Greg.
So, so basically people can reach out for a virtual consultation too.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course. I hope my hope would be, no, let me change that because there's a big hole in hope. My belief is that you got enough information to go, I'm at least going to look in the pain-free book. That's the very least, because it's going to change your life. What that will do is that will build a relationship between you and Egoscue. And Greg knows this too. You'll read the book now, and then 6 months from now, I'll hear from you and say, I'm ready to take my body to my next level.
Yeah.
But I put a lot of good information out. You know, when I was showing you, especially with Egoscue puts out some really good information on the Instagram and Facebook. But I want to show you simple things like this picture is on my Instagram. Imagine if you're a parent and you have a son that looks like he's lining up with that red line versus the green line. Which son do you want to have? This teenager over here in red is going to be an emotional nightmare because his emotions look like that posture. The one in green is more congruent, and then they're going to listen and learn a little better. Which kid do you want? So speaking of kids, let me show you Aparva, thank you so much for that. I saw that that question or the statement that he just said. Let me show you a video because I know you're going to cut me off here pretty soon because God, that guy can talk so much. It's unbelievable.
I was going to cut myself off when you were showing this. Yeah.
Right. Look at this video. This is a picture of my son at 14 compared to other 14-year-old kids on his elite level soccer team. Look at the development of their little bodies compared to his, and that's zero weightlifting. But that's because I gave him such an unfair advantage because we would go to the park or climb trees for hours a day. I brought exercise to him to let him develop because look, we're in California, concrete, driving everywhere, sitting everywhere, and that was unacceptable for me to raise my kid like that. Here's the same kid at 14. He's in the back running a 200-meter sprint. That's 200 meters. Come on. He's in the back. First time on a track meet. And he wins by 45 meters. I don't know what to tell you other than I'm right. And I was given the ability to share this information because 30 years ago, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time when Pete Egoscue was in a place to open up a clinic where I was, and it just made sense to me. And from there, I haven't turned back. And I'm on a mission, same with Greg, same with all of our other clinic owners. We're all on a mission to spread the word, not because it makes us more important. We don't care about that. I really don't care. I mean, I know the face you're looking at. You already have an eye headache this morning from staring at this face. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, you guys are athletes. Let's give you the best chance to stay an athlete as you get older. Because me at 54, when I used to race downhill mountain bikes, I was heading into the professional levels, blah, blah, blah. And then I hit a tree. And trees don't move. Body parts broke. Blood clotted this. Blah, 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 blah. But now, 25 years later at 54, the things I can do, I play very high level and I teach a bunch of national level table tennis. And I play a very high level of pickleball. And I know a lot of people may not know what that is yet if they don't play it, but it's an amazing sport. But I'm also going to go to the soccer field and feed my kid balls because he's a soccer player, and I'm going to feed him these balls on the ground, and boom, there he goes, and he sends it into the goal. Help him train. You got to be ready for that. If I have to go, because I'm on the board with Titleist, I got to go learn, I got to play golf sometimes and do this. You got to be ready for this stuff. When my son as a child, I'm going to be the grandpa who's changing the kid. I don't want to be responsible if that kid turns over and falls onto the floor on a changing table. I got to be reactive and stop that kid from falling. And I can't be reactive going, gee, I better get my shoulder blades in the right place before I move. You can't do it that way.
Yeah.
So solve the problem. Ingrain this in your mind right now. Get to Egoscue. We want to hear from you. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. That's how you got me up on a Sunday morning this early.
I know. You're just so passionate about this. Yeah. And helping everyone else around.
Well, we all are like that. We all are like that. I'm telling you, it's infectious within the method for sure.
Yeah. And I think this has been wonderful, Brian. And we have the egoscue.com and the Brian Bradley on Instagram. And trust me, Brian just responds to every message that you send to him. So feel free to write to him, get the book, The Pain Free book by Pete Egoscue. And I think that's the starting point, and take it from then on.
Yeah, whatever you guys need. I know that before I started doing Bulletproof, reading a book was impossible to me. So, if you have questions even about, I brought up a lot of stuff, the glasses, the bike, the cold plunge, the coffee, I'll answer them all, because I'm trying to build relationships. And guess who gets the credit 10 years down the road if you're starting to wear these glasses and you no longer have fatigue in front of your computer? This guy, right? This guy does, which means this method, it may not have helped you with your posture because you may not believe in it. But all of a sudden you were like, you know what? I don't have eye strain anymore. Now I have your trust. And then when your knee hurts, I might have more of your trust to ask me a question. Why is my knee hurt? Send me a picture so I can see. Wow, have you seen how your knee is like this? We're at least giving you a reason why you hurt. Let's make the physical therapists and chiropractors' jobs much easier by you doing some work, and then you can go see them.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate this.
And we appreciate the time that you actually did this on a Sunday morning, Brian.
Yeah, but for you, isn't it for you? It's late. It's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock p.m. your time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be in bed. Sorry to keep you up so late.
No, but thank you so much, Brian. I think the whole purpose why I got you here, and I wanted people to know, because here in India, we are not aware of these alternate methods that are available. The first thing, if something hurts, is we go take a shot or we go take a pill. I just wanted to make this more aware so that people know of the Egoscue method and know that these things exist. And yes, we could and we will live pain free, and that is a possibility. And people should definitely explore these options available to them. So that was the main purpose of bringing this out.
It's true. And I will tell you, there's billions of people. How many people in India? A lot.
Yeah.
I need a clinic in India. I need a clinic there. So I'm already in some discussions with some people. One's a physical therapist, an acupuncturist, blah, blah, blah. And then some other people are going through our certification program through our institute. We do all kinds of training like that. Like you did, you got certified in the Chi running.
Yeah.
Well, we're also moving to a point where I need to get somebody trained over there, because there's hundreds of millions of people that are in chronic pain. You should see the messages I get from India. It's unbelievable. It's time to stop. We got to get you out of that.
Absolutely. I think that will be brilliant. And one step at a time. We'll look forward to that, Brian.
Yeah. I won't be moving there anytime soon, but it's going to have to be somebody else.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Brian. Thanks for your time. And thank you, everyone else. Brian, thanks for doing this morning. And everyone else, thanks for being here at like 10:30, 11 at night. So thank you all. I mean, irrespective of the time, I'm glad everyone could make it and actually hear you.
Well, I appreciate it. We went way over time, but you know what? Time is something you never get back. But if you're doing something useful, you don't miss it.
It's worth it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Brian.